Hey everybody, it's Lee. We're talking about tree wells today, and I'm pretty sure this is a willow oak, but it might be a different form of water oak because when you find wild trees, you'll find lots of different varieties. But if you look at the leaves, it looks a lot like a willow oak, but maybe they're just a little bit fatter, so it's probably a water oak, just a different variety. But here, take a look at what we do. So your tree well is really important. You can see what was here before. The soil was all the way up the tree right here, covering all these basal roots. And it's really important to give them a little bit of air and make sure that this covering isn't much deeper than the ground soil around it. This was all mounded up. We removed about this much dirt. If you look over here, you can see. Now, to get your line, I just tie a string. So we're looking about 3 times the diameter of our trunk of our tree. So we're gonna go out, and you see how we did this. We just drew a little line in the soil, and then we went through and cut it out with a shovel. And we're going down about 2.5 inches. So not super deep. So it's about 2.5 inches, make a nice line. And then what we're gonna do is remove any grass, any weeds, and basically we're gonna take out that top 2 inches of soil out of here. Now that's a lot of the topsoil in a place like this. So this next step is we bring in this really good leaf mold compost. And you can see this stuff is just beautiful. We're gonna put that down, and that's only about 1 inch to 1.5 inches deep. And then we're gonna finish it off with some mulch. So here I have some black mulch. And black hardwood mulch is what you find typically down in the south. Up north you'll find bark mulch. But this hardwood mulch, it just doesn't break down as fast as the compost because the compost has already started its decomposition process. And what I'm doing is I'm covering it up with about 1 inch of this good hardwood mulch. And this mulch just kind of protects the compost underneath, keeps it from getting blown away. And just a little protective covering, but it also maintains that it looks nice. It's got a nice dark appearance. And we're using this because it matches what the customer already has. Their yard already has black hardwood mulch. So we're using black hardwood mulch in all of their tree wells, tree rings, whatever you want to call them, tree donuts. And so you get the picture. I'm just going to fill this in with about 1 inch. And if you see me using this out of an old pot, the reason is when I get a bunch of mulch, I'll use this. I'll put all my extra pots in the back of the truck along one side of my trailer, and when they dump in the mulch, I'll catch a bunch of it in buckets. And this just makes it to where when I have little jobs like this, I got a bucket full of mulch ready to go that I can just bring into the job site. And it just makes it kind of handy, especially in tight spots where you can't fit a wheelbarrow. You've got a nice little bucket of mulch. And I'm just utilizing these because I've got these ones extra. I've got some bigger buckets of mulch too, somewhere. I'm gonna get right up to the edge. That nice line that we cut. And really the compost is the best part, but the most important thing that we did was removing this soil. Look at the line right here. There was almost 4 inches of extra soil up against the base of this tree. And if you know a lot about trees, you'll learn that root collar rot's one of the #1 killers of trees in North America. So whenever you can, open this up and allow some air to get to these basal roots right at the top. That allows some ultraviolet light to strike the trunk of the tree too. That'll also help keep root collar rot from forming, which is really great. And I've got to go get another bucket, but you get the idea. And now this area will be weed free for quite some time. I'll just add a little bit of mulch later. I won't need to add any more compost. That's plenty for this area. The compost is just to richen the soil because there are some roots here. Another important thing that we did is as we were excavating all the soil, we found a bunch of circling roots growing back over the root crown. A smaller root growing over the root crown, and I cut them away. But I already did that. I cut them away all the way around, so there's no circling roots or girdling roots. And they call them girdling roots because their pressure can cut off the circulatory system of a larger root. When they grow over the top, they'll cut off the circulatory system, which is just underneath the bark. So that's really important too. But I'm gonna grab another thing of bark mulch or hardwood mulch, and I'm gonna finish this off. But that's a tree well, really simple. You guys can all do it for yourselves, but a really great way to take care of the healthier tree. One more thing though, when the landscapers come in with their weed eaters, if there was weeds and grass growing all around the base of this tree, they'd be weed eating up close to the base of the tree, usually striking the bark, damaging it, sometimes killing that outer layer of the bark. That also hurts the circulatory system of the tree and can lead to a bunch of problems. So it's something really important to do. Check in next time, do a tree well for yourself.